executive producer of Angry Beavers was the same person who was the executive producer of Invader Zim, a woman by the name of Mary Harrington. And so Jonan really wanted me to play Invader Zim. And so Mary was like, well, I don't know if Nickelodeon's going to go for it because he's already doing Daggett. We don't want it to sound too similar, but if you listen to the show, they both sound, they're just different characters completely. But at the time, they didn't see that. So when I first read the script, I thought that I was more right for the character of Dib, who, by the way, is Andy Berman, who was from right here in Chicago. Mm-hmm. You want to hear my imitation of Dib? It's my imitation.
Yes.
Yeah. Not this time, Zim! It's my Dib. It's pretty good, right? It sounds like it. So I thought I was right for the character of Dib, but Joan said, no, I want you for Zim. I'm like, all right. So I never felt like I had a grasp on it from the beginning, but he said, no, it's perfect. But nonetheless, the powers that be said that now he's already doing Daggett. So, no, he's not going to be Zim. So in the meantime, they considered Mark Hamill for Zim. And then finally they settled on Billy West, a good friend of mine, to do the voice of Zim. So they did the pilot without me. I was bummed, majorly bummed. But in the meantime, before the pilot ever was finished and aired, Angry Beavers ended its run. And so suddenly I was available to do a show. And so they came back to me and said, will you come in and dub over several of the scenes of Invader Zim so that we can send it to Nickelodeon in New York and they can see that you're nothing like Daggett. So I went in and I dubbed over Billy. So here's the interesting thing, the mythology that has permeated the internet for the last 12 years, is that Billy West is the one voicing the pilot. So if you watch Nickelodeon, they'll say the never before aired pilot of Invader Zim. Well, I'm not credited on that show, but the fact of the matter is that half of it is me and half of it is Billy. But they don't credit me on the thing. But it's not all Billy; it's all me. Most of it is me.
Just screaming.
Yeah, but from then on, we went on and we did 26 half hours and a Christmas special, and that's how that happened. At the same time, I started doing another show for Cartoon Network called The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, and I played a character called Billy on that one. And sometimes I would record both episodes in the same day, and that's one of the other reasons why my voice is still hoarse to this day, because I went from to it's just really hard, and I would record them on the same day. In fact, Billy and Mandy went on hiatus when I did Zim, and then when I came back to Billy and Mandy, they said, wow, your voice has like really gotten hoarse. Are you smoking? I said, no, I don't smoke. They said, well, it sounds like you're smoking. But I'm not. It's just because I was doing both shows on the same day, and then by the end of the day, I was just like completely hoarse. I couldn't talk. And so I would have to take off like 2 days before my voice would bounce back. My voice doesn't bounce back as quickly now that I'm older. You can thank your mom for that, because I'm old. And then they just kind of separated the shows, and they put one at Nickelodeon on Mondays, we did Thursday, we did Nickelodeon Thursday, we did Billy and Mandy Monday. So I did Billy and Mandy first, and then Zim second later in the week. Yeah, that's what I did. Yes.
What are some of your favorite lines from Invader Zim?
My favorite line is, "Grr, why was there bacon in the soap?" That's my favorite line. I also like, "My business is done." That's when I come back from the bathroom. One of my other favorite lines is, waffles? Zim needs no waffles. That's one of my favorite ones.
What did Gurr say?
Why does it burn? I like that one.
What did Gurr say when he handed you a plate of waffles? These have something and soap in them.
Peanuts.
These have peanuts and soap in them.
Racer and Kimba the White Lion. Those are my two favorites.
That's old school.
Yeah, exactly. My mom will remember.
How'd you feel about that movie then? Speed Racer.
You know what? I'll tell you. It wasn't what I had imagined it was going to be in my childhood. Because ever since I was a kid, they always talked about making a movie of Speed Racer, and at one point they would say it was going to be Tom Cruise's Speed Racer, and all these rumors got started. But you know what? I kind of liked the movie. I thought it was really good casting, especially Matthew Fox's Racer X. I thought he was really good. I still want like a regular, not CGI'd speed racer. I really want that. And I want them to do the mammoth car. And it melts down, it's gold. I love it just driving around in gold. But you know, the original Speed Racer was really violent. And even back then they used to talk about it. I mean, people died. People had guns, they crashed and died off the cliff. Speed was responsible for a lot of them going off the cliff. I love that. I mean, I just thought, and I didn't turn into a psychopath. Much.
We watched Invader Zim and we're all okay.
That's right, exactly. I think that Invader Zim has like the worst rap of people who don't know what the show is. That's always been our main issue with the show, is that everybody just thinks it's this, based on the fact that Jonah did Johnny the Homicidal Maniac and I Feel Sick and Squee. They think that we're just this, you know, goth, dark show. And yeah, I mean, there was darkness in the show, but there was a lot of Career Day, you know, was the molting. It's not that dark, it just was. Planet Jackers was one of my favorite, and that wasn't dark. And so I really liked
The Harvest.
That. Yeah, well, Dark Harvest was probably one of our dark. I remember one time, Nickelodeon didn't like that we were taking out Keith's eyeballs at the end of Bestest Friend. But Jonan went to them and said, yes, but we're putting in better eyes. And I said, oh, okay. So,
See a squirrel zoom.
yeah. But, you know, there was dark aspects of it, but our main base, like if you go to any of the Invader cons, they're all families there. It's not just, you know, outliers and goth kids. We have a lot of those, which is fun. But we have a huge fan base that's kids. That's family. It's just mom, dads, and their kids. Yeah.
In fact, I wouldn't even be into your show if it weren't for my mom, so.
Yes, my point exactly. I know our fan base. How old's your mom?
She's 42.
Yes. Tell her she has some nerve calling me old. Yes. Ask away. You're my main asker.
I'm sorry.
That's
it's
a good
funny,
thing.
'cause I wasn't expecting you to be here, and I was like, oh.
I wasn't expecting to be here. I was just wandering around the hotel.
Did your understanding of the character of Zim, or if it's really interesting, I think the characters, really change throughout the time you were working on the show?
I don't know that my understanding of him changed as much as you kind of fall into it, because anything you spend a lot of time thinking about becomes important to you, and then you sort of know how you would respond. So when you read that line, oh, I know how Zim would say that. So my understanding of him evolved because the understanding of what our show was going to be evolved. So whatever direction it went in. We had a lot of things planned for that show that never came to be. A lot of great things, like Minnie Moose was in the Christmas show. It's like, Minnie Moose has been here all along. Well, that was Jonan. Jonan was Minnie Moose. And I never liked the episodes of Zim without Zim. I wasn't a big fan of those, mainly because I didn't get paid. But Jonah just said, but there were other episodes that I get sick of too much Zim in. One of them is Germs. That's a lot of Zim, and it was a really hard episode to record because it was all yelling. Yeah. So that one is not one of my favorites, but I do love